Hey guys, come on in. Type in freedom now. We had some problems with getting live, going live today at 1 o'clock. It's working now. I'm live on YouTube. Come on in, say hello, type in freedom now. Let's get going. We have a lot of important things to talk about. We're going to talk about the fact that ICE arrests, guys, they're growing. Okay, there's a lot going on that we need to circle back and discuss today on this Memorial Monday. Come on in. I hope you guys are having a good day with maybe resting. I hope that you had an opportunity to rest this weekend. Type in freedom now. I believe that I'm live now on YouTube. Let me know in the chat, okay? I'm Latoya McBean, Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. Friends, type in, let me know that you're here with me because it doesn't, I don't see any activities going on right now in the chat. Let's do it this way. Let's hit live chat and see if we can get this on my end. Guys, our phone number, we're reachable. Our team, today is a day off for the office. However, there is a team working who is booking your consultations and getting your cases, your contracts going. So you can reach us today at 914-898-9488. Okay, there you go. I see. Thank you. I see DAPA. Thank you, Freedom Now. So this is telling me that it is working. I had to switch gears and use a different software, okay, because I had major problems with the other one. Thank you for your patience. Let's go ahead and get started, okay? It's guys, you might have been seeing in the news lately that ICE is arresting more people at immigration courthouses and just doing some very sneaky undermining things or tactics. Last week, there was a coordinated effort across the country for ICE agents to show up in plain clothes in front of immigration courthouses and waited for people whose immigration cases were dismissed in court that very day. Now, some people were arrested whose cases were not dismissed, by the way, which I've heard. But for the most part, it's a coordinated effort, it seems, in some places with the immigration judge, the ICE attorney, of course, for the government judges to dismiss some cases and then placing these individuals in fast track deportation, which we've talked about before. We talked about in January and February the fact that the government is looking to expedite the deportation of individuals who have been in the country less than 2 years. And now we're seeing it played out in front of us. And we saw in places like Phoenix, Miami, Virginia, and even in New York, from what I understand, that ICE agents have been arresting people who are doing the right thing by showing up to court to have their immigration court case heard before a judge. And at the end of their dismissal of the case, and they're walking out of the courthouses, they are then arrested by ICE and blindsided. And of course, this is going to have a huge chilling effect, okay? Huge chilling effect on people who should be cooperating with the whole process of immigration court proceedings. They're going to want to sit back and say, I'm not going to go to court. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. And that is actually not what you should be thinking, because if you decide that you're not going there, okay, and you're not in court, the judge will issue a removal order against you in your absence. All right. Now, here's what you should consider doing if you're in a situation like this. Number one, you should think about, well, should my court case, my immigration proceedings be dismissed, right? That's really the question. Is dismissal the best thing for my case? Do I have a strong asylum case? Do I have a pathway to a green card that I'm trying to advance in court? Do I have a way forward? Well, if you have a way forward, then dismissal is not the best way to go. All right. So be careful with the fast dismissal if you do have a case. The second thing to consider is this. filing a motion, having your attorney file a motion for a WebEx hearing, okay? A WebEx hearing, so that you can sit comfortably at home or in the immigration lawyer's office and go to court virtually. That's the way to go. All right. Now, the other thing that you should consider is this, and I know you don't want to hear this, but this is a reality for many people now. You've got to put a plan in place, a plan of action in the event you are arrested at the courthouse. And a plan of action includes things like preparing a plan for your children, guardianship, who will have guardianship of your children if you have children. If you have assets in the United States, well, consider working with a professional to put in place a live-in trust. There are things that you can do to protect your assets. Speak with a professional about that. Now, guys, this is a different time, a different game, but we were expecting this to some extent, okay? Things are worse, actually, than in some areas, things are worse, but we did expect that they would try to get folks into expedited removal, fast track deportation by cutting short due process, taking them out of court and placing them into a detention center and then quickly on a plane out of the United States. So those are my thoughts that I really want to share with you in terms of how to address this problem. A WebEx motion is truly the way to go. And of course, work with a professional on all of these ideas that I'm sharing here today. All right. Thank you, YouTube, for being back, for coming back. We had technical problems earlier. There is a delay. I will warn you, there is a delay with your comments popping up in front of me through this YouTube studio that I'm live with today, because my other software crashed on me. So I'm doing it a little differently. So just know that I'm experiencing a delay with your comments. Okay, so be patient. Today's Memorial Day. Let's relax a little. I'm not in a hurry. I'm gonna get to your immigration questions momentarily. Now, with regard to other things that ICE is doing, guys, they are looking to recalendar administratively closed cases. Many cases have been administratively closed, taken off the docket because of a decision that a judge made to take your case off the docket temporarily. And we now know that ICE is gearing up to place all of what I saw is all administratively closed cases by a date in July, that they will now recalendar and get you guys back into the swing of things. It's super important, if you're in removal and you had your case administratively closed, that you have an updated address so that you could become aware of a new hearing date, because if you miss your hearing date, you're going to get a removal order. If your attorney who worked with you years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago on your removal case has passed away, or if that attorney is no longer your attorney of record, you've got to hire a new attorney to help you. Because again, if you have an attorney, not again, but if you have an attorney who is on record for you in removal proceedings, and the court will send a notice to that attorney, and not to you. And so it's quite possible that your hearing notice can be routed to someone else who's not even alive, number one, and number two, not working on your case anymore. And then you miss that date. And it's very difficult to reopen a case that has been administratively closed. And then thirdly, with ICE, guys, the third big update that you've been reading about in the news, of course, is the fact that they are I'm looking at my audio here. I have the audio, I don't know. Is the audio good, guys? Crystal clear? The connection in this home studio today is just kind of really different. Now, the third thing is that ICE is obviously arresting some people during their routine check-ins. Supervision. Those of you who are under ICE supervision, you have a removal order, you've been checking in with them. They have been arresting individuals at these routine check-ins, and even some people who are seeking naturalization, going in for a naturalization interview. I'll talk more about what's happening on that front in another short video to you guys, but just be very aware of the fact that ICE is coordinating a lot now with USCIS, which we've discussed, and USCIS is providing them with data and information on individuals with certain information on your record. So work closely with your attorney on what your strategy is if you're going to be checking in with ICE, or if you have an interview coming up at USCIS's office, or if you have an administratively closed case in removal proceedings. And certainly if you entered the United States less than 2 years ago and you're in removal proceedings and you have a hearing date coming up, because they are sending some very quick, fast, upcoming dates to individuals to show up to interviews and also to show up to immigration court. So work closely with your attorney of choice if you can afford one, and work on that strategy. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's go into some of your immigration questions today. Come on in, and again, this is so slow. This is why I don't use the YouTube software, because the comments are so slow to come into me. Thank you. How many asylum seekers have been approved since January? I have no idea. I don't know how many people they are approving at the USCIS level and immigration court level. Let's go up here. Do I think the Trump administration will end DACA? I think that you know what I'm waiting for is the Trump administration to follow through on the promise that they will do something for dreamers. Okay, I'm still waiting on that. I haven't seen anything towards that end. I think they're being very aggressive. It's possible that they would go the other way in light of all of the things that they've been doing with respect to ending TPS. Although I think in their mind they are associating TPS with individuals who they do not want in the United States. And that's putting it lightly. So I think they connect TPS with that notion or those ideas that we don't want these people here. Whereas for dreamers, it's a little different, or people with DACA, it's a little different, because there's a little bit of they came here when they were babies. They came here without awareness of what their parents were doing. It's not their fault. They're like Americans. So I think their mindset might be a little, well, I should say Trump's mindset, President Trump's mindset might be a little bit more sympathetic, but the hardcore folks behind him, I don't think they see it that way. I think they are really going to maybe try to get rid of it. But this is just my opinion, personal opinion on that. Let's keep going with your questions, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. Abiola is asking, what if immigration court, there's no way that I could add this to the screen. I'm sorry, I won't be able to add your comments to the screen today, so I'll just read them. What if the court refused a visual or virtual hearing, is what you're asking? If the court refuses that, then you'll have to appear in court. Otherwise, you will get a removal order in your absence, and follow through with those other steps that I've discussed at the beginning about your strategy in immigration court proceedings. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Let's go. I want to make sure I get most of the questions that I'm seeing on my end through this different setup. Okay, someone is asking, says USCIS marriage-based interview will be next week. Okay, good. Our first I-485 adjustment of status was denied, but we got it reopened with an I-290B. Terrific. Should we be concerned with being ambushed by ICE at the appointment? That's a very, obviously, I could understand why you would think that, because we are seeing more of the ambush in, I guess. Folks are being ambushed by the new USCIS. Firstly, what's on your record? What led to the denial of the case in the first filing? you were successful with getting it reopened. So I think you've overcome some of those challenges from before. If you have a pretty decent record, I don't know if a 601 waiver is part of your process, but most people are fine who do go into immigration offices for their interviews. Just so you guys know, most people are fine. It's just that individuals with a certain criminal record, or they might even have a removal order, who are appearing before USCIS, we're hearing a little bit here and there about those stories. One, two, three. We're here. They're starting to add up. For us immigration lawyers, guys, this is like everyday occurrences. Some of what we're seeing, not a lot. Some of what we're seeing is like everyday things, routine issues, routine drama, routine facts. Some things are now over like out there into as far as like ICE arresting people at immigration courthouses. That's something that we have not seen before. That's new. Freedom of speech, that's new. Due process issues, that's new, right? So they have taken it to the next level. But like the arrests here and there, we see these things in our everyday practice. Is VAWA still working? Yes, VAWA is still working. Dreamers contribute so much to the United States. Yes, I agree with that. Is it safe to travel on advanced parole, which is valid until 2030? I think it's fine for most people with advanced parole to travel. You're traveling at your own risk, of course. But yes, it is safe for most people to travel on advanced parole. Okay, let's see. Sarah says, I will try to get a virtual court hearing. Yes, most judges are approving these, guys. Most judges are approving the motion for a WebEx hearing. Okay. Um, is it normal to have an I-130 pending since 2023? Yes, it just really depends on what category. Even if it's a spousal case, spousal case, U.S. What is it called again? Immigrant immediate relative filing is taking a little longer for many people these days. I'd be curious to know what category your I-130 case is connected to. All right, let's go. My husband's case was administratively closed and it has been reopened. We now have a date for August of 2025. Very scary, Sarah says. It sounds like you might even have an attorney right now working on your case. I wish you well, Sarah. Okay, guys, give me some hearts. I could actually see hearts in this particular setup, and I kind of like it. Let's engage with each other, okay? Let's engage. Let's see. Greetings from California. Isa says, or Isa, do you have any clients that registered under the registration? So, am I keeping tabs on that client-wise? No, I'm not keeping tabs on that. We've advised our clients according to the law, according to the requirements that is in the law. There's an ethical obligation that we have as immigration attorneys to tell our clients what the law says and what their duty is under the law. And so we've done that, particularly for the clients who have been asking questions related to that. And also just keep in mind that a lot of people are already registered. A lot of people are already registered because they enter the United States with a visa. Okay. So for many of our clients, this is not even a real issue. But for those who are, if they ask us, we will tell them what their obligation is under the law. Okay. Okay. Now I see that the chat is a lot more active. Great. Good. It's coming there. Your comments are coming in. Let's see. Let's go back. Okay. What I'll do, I'll add my the next question that I'm going to answer. I'm going to record because you guys know how I do it. Maybe not. Okay. So the next question is where is that? The next question is, what really is in the big, beautiful bill as it relates to green card holders. So, friends, last week, Friday, I don't know if it was Friday, but last week, the House of Representatives passed the big, beautiful bill, the reconciliation bill that is now before the Senate for consideration. And it has a tremendous amount of money in there for immigration enforcement. It really has elevated things with respect to funding ICE, funding investigation, the capacity of the agencies to hire more attorneys and staff to do investigations, and just massive crackdown on immigration efforts are in that big, beautiful bill. I had done a very lengthy live session, I believe, on this, the different categories of funding and how that bill also raises fees, increases fees of including $1,000 for asylum seekers, right? The application fee. Let me get a sip of this. I feel like I'm going so fast because the reason I'm going so fast is because I'm unclear of how this software is going to work once it's out there. Don't know if it's going to be slow or not. So I'm kind of going a little fast. Okay, so in this big beautiful bill, I had explained that asylum seekers, they will face $1,000 for their application fee, and the other big thing is work permits would be you would have to do a renewal every 6 months of your work permit and pay another fee every 6 months. So there are things like that in there. But the biggest issues in there that may or may not impact green card holders specific to this question that has been asked is the enforcement piece, the fact that ICE will be given a lot more money to do a lot more enforcement. And investigations. And so that's how it might impact some green card holders. But most green card holders are fine and have nothing to worry about other than to know and stay aware of the fact that this administration views them as guests in this country, number one. And number two, for some reason, they would like to they just believe that green card holders have committed or committed fraud or have committed fraud or have committed a lot of crimes. There's this they have these ideas and some data that does support some a little bit of what, just a little data, but not much. And so they're now kind of pushing things with green card holders, but most green card holders, I believe, will be fine. If you have an opportunity to naturalize safely, naturalize, but do not seek naturalization if, for instance, you had applied for asylum many years ago in a fraudulent name, an alias, and a removal order is issued against that name, that person. And now here you are in your true identity. Um, you got a green card, you got lucky. They never connected the dots with you and the earlier fraudulent filing and removal order, interestingly enough. And this does happen, guys. I've seen this happen in my practice. So, and they don't connect the dots. And then here you are before them seeking naturalization. And lo and behold, they finally connect the dots and realize that you have a removal order in the name of John Doe from 2019. And I will be talking about this in another video because there's a real case out there right now of a family that is stuck in this situation. So guys, work with a professional to assess your background before you seek naturalization if you're in a situation similar to what I've just discussed, okay? All right, so that's how it could impact green card holders. Just to circle back to your question. More dollars, more enforcement. Think about it like that. Whew. I get just to pause. um, let's see. What's in the oops, I keep forgetting that. What is the DS-260 form? Nicole is asking. Nicole, the DS-260 form is the visa application, okay? for immigrant visa. It's the immigrant visa application that is online that folks need to complete in order to get an embassy interview and yeah. So they complete the DS-260, upload some documents to the visa center. They get an interview date and they go before the embassy, and the embassy will have that visa application in front of them during the interview. Let's see. Oh, uh-oh. I see that someone is spamming. So let's see. How do I let's uh time out? Had to place that one in timeout. Let's go back up. Um, let's go down here. Documents were completed at the NVC since October and still no update yet. Okay. Um, he was under 21 when we applied. Is there anything I should do in this case? Where is your embassy? Where is your embassy? Because for some people, they are the embassy. Once your case is documentarily qualified, they can get an interview date the next month. Some embassies are really caught up. Others some places you have to wait a year. So it just depends on that. There's a resource now tool that the State Department friends have on their website that will allow you to see what they're up to, in terms of cases that they're scheduling for interviews. Just Google that new tool at the State Department for immigrant visa interviews, and you'll find that information. Okay. I was deported 20 years ago, no criminal record, visa overstay only. Um, well, how can I get back into the United States? My sister has petitioned for me. Richard is asking. So, Richard, one on one with an attorney or with us, we would look into your immigration record and see whether there is a waiver that we could file to get you back here. Is you might need, depending on what's on your record, you might need a waiver. Okay. And then where are you with the sibling filing? Is there a visa that's available for you yet? You might be able to come back. Okay. So just you could book an appointment with us or speak to another attorney. Okay, let's go, guys. Do I think Big Beautiful Bill is going to pass the Senate? I think they're going to hand deliver Trump something, right? Like what we saw with the Lake and Riley Act and like what we've seen with other bills. I think they're going to hand him something. Now, whether it's going to be everything that's in that bill, that's another question because this is a very aggressive um, bill that provides major cuts to our government and to services and programs and just a whole it's going to be a spiral effect on the states. So I think that there are a few senators who are quite concerned about the trickle down impact of this bill on the states and state budgets. So we'll see. But they will hand deliver him something. And I do think that whatever they hand deliver to him will include a lot of immigration enforcement dollars to support mass deportation. Okay, let's go. Let's see. All right, I'm an F1 student and I'm married recently to a US citizen. Can I work using my work permit without losing my student status? If my green card has not been approved yet. So Isabel, this is the tricky part for some F1 students, right? Because yes, you can get a work permit through the adjustment of status process, but it would actually be in violation of the student status. So, and I think you already know that. So, what we would do is look to see if you have a strong win-in case for adjustment of status, all right, and advise you accordingly. But that is the very tricky. It's working. It will impact student status. Okay. Let's see. After passing my interview at USCIS, they sent me to court and it's scheduled for next September. Am I safe to go there? Um, if it does work, is there any chance that they will hold me out of court? Okay, so Azali, I'm not certain what you mean by passing an interview. Passing, because if you did well, everything was good at USCIS, you would not be in court. They would not have referred you over into court. So was my question is, was it an asylum interview that you had at USCIS that didn't go very well and they placed you in removal? You need to work with a professional to assess what you filed and what your background is and whether you have any strategy or relief in immigration court. Friends, normally I would have our office number posted here for you guys to see, but I'm using a different setup, so I don't have that on the screen. But it's our phone number is 914-898-9488, or just go to McBeanlaw.com and you'll see our contact information. We have some folks on our team today who are answering the phones and booking your consultations and taking care of your fee agreements and other things. Today is a holiday, so the legal team and everyone else is actually out of office today, but you will reach someone today on this Memorial Day. Okay, let's go down. Someone says that I have a couple of drive-in with a suspended license. I was on probation because of the drive-in. It was 16 years ago. Should I file for naturalization? The agent is asking. So, you know, that history might not hurt you necessarily with your naturalization case today, but we would want to look at everything related to your we would be looking primarily at your immigration status history, immigration history, which people often forget when they're thinking about naturalization. How did I become a green card holder to begin with? So look at your naturalization history, your immigration history, to see what's on it. In addition to the criminal record, you might not face any major problems, but we want to look at the totality of you as a candidate to go before USCIS in a naturalization case. All right, let's go down. I passed through the spam. My citizenship was denied twice. USCIS claims I came into the United States 18 years ago with a K-1 visa, although married. A form I had submitted was only ceremonial and not registered marriage certificate. Okay, that's getting a lot into the weeds. If Ruby, if you feel that if you're considering, I should say, applying for naturalization a third time, absolutely have your case assessed before you go ahead and go back on the radar in this manner. I'm not sure what why they denied you, what they cited as their reason. I don't know if they're thinking there was any fraud or anything like that on your record, but certainly before you apply a third time, work with a professional on the application process. Um, let's see, Freedom Now, Freedom Now. I see that Ethiopia is in the house. Someone says, I'm filing for marriage-based adjustment of status. I have a dismiss theft charge, no programs, and the DA rejected the possession charge. Never got filed. Will I be okay? Possession for what? Aldo, what possession for what? What is potentially on paper, right? On paper with your name on it. Charges, because under this administration, they're looking at arrests and charges now. You say, okay, never got filed. The DA didn't pursue the possession charge, but what is the possession charge? Friends, if you had met with me a year ago, I wouldn't be so concerned about charges, right? Because immigration, for the most part, immigration and our law really focuses on convictions. And now we're talking about arrests and charges. So we will need to assess, look at your full criminal record to see what's on there before we move forward with the marriage green card process for you if you're working with us. AJ says, AJ is asking a great question. AJ is asking a great question. Who's the most vulnerable and could face an arrest at USCIS interviews? AJ, in my opinion, I think that it's individuals. Number one, individuals who who have a criminal record, a strong criminal record. Let's start there. Individuals who are seeking naturalization who have fraud on their record. Number two, fraud on their record related to how they became a green card holder. They're starting to go after, it looks like, I don't know if there's a trend yet. I don't think there is a trend yet, but some individuals who might have a removal order. I've heard a couple of cases like that, which is absurd because our law provides a process for a spouse to file for his or her spouse and just do an I-130 case, go to USCIS, go to the USCIS interview and be fine, and then be able to reopen their removal case if they do it properly and then adjust their status. But now, I've heard a couple of cases involving people being blindsided with an arrest because they have a removal order, even though they are on track. So I'm watching that. I don't know if there's a trend yet. I don't really think there is yet, but I thought I'd mention that here. Um, so those are the top ones I think are at most at risk of being arrested at a USCIS interview. Fraud, the removal order, criminal record. Um, yeah, those individuals, okay? I could very well be forgetting another category. If I think about it, I might do an immigration avoid this mistake video, if I could think on that. Um, You always know when I'm thinking about something else. Guys, just a little tip. When I take a very long time to answer a question to go on to the next one, that's because I'm thinking about something else from earlier. So let's focus. Focus. Okay, focus. I'm not sure about this consular question. If the letter you're supposed to get. Um, VAWA. I have advanced parole through VAWA. Okay, no criminal record or deportation. I'd like to travel back to Nigeria. Will I be safe and be readmitted back into the United States on my way back? You could possibly be fine, have nothing, no concerns there. What I would want to know is how long has your VAWA case been pending? Are you close to a decision? Are you close to the 3-year mark? Because if you are, it's probably better just to wait to see if you get your approval of your VAWA case. Um, and then we take it from, if you get that approval of your VAWA case, you want to be here when you get the decision, is what I'm trying to say. You want to be here because if it's a denial, it can get a little bit tricky to return into the United States. Okay. Scroll down, see if I could find a different batch of questions. I've been in the United States for more than a decade with an administratively closed case. Can your firm help me? Maybe contact us for us to find out why your case was administratively closed those many years ago. Most times it happens because at the time you don't really have a strong case to move forward with, or you are waiting on something else outside of immigration court to happen to now make you eligible to go all the way until the end to get lawful status here. So we would pull your immigration records and see if there's a strategy forward for you. Okay. Let's see. What is the what's so beautiful about this bill? That's a question that obviously Donald Trump could answer. It's beautiful to him because it gives him what he wants. That's what makes it beautiful. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit. ICE is shutting down PD um, across many offices. Okay, so going back to the VAWA one, you applied for VAWA back in October 2023. So you're right in the middle of it. You might be okay to travel. It's always at your own risk. That's why I say it this way because I the information to me is quite limited and I don't know what's on your background. Let's see 40 minutes. Okay. Um There are people I'm seeing questions about whether I could apply for naturalization, some questions around that. That guys, do some research, read some blogs, look at USCIS's website about who is eligible to naturalize and when. Some people can do it at the 3-year mark, others can do it at the 5-year mark. Get that basic information, get that basic information in your head. And then certainly if there's any real strong concerns about moving forward with naturalization, then you can contact an attorney to talk about what those concerns are and whether now is the good time for you, the right time for you to proceed with your naturalization case. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. Controlled substance. See, possession of controlled substance. Yeah, it's, you know, that's a serious one. So even if it's a charge with something like that, it's gonna, to me, it's going, their ears are gonna perk up a little bit at USCIS. Even though it's a charge, that's how USCIS has really changed. Okay. Um, let's see. Someone says that he just got his naturalization interview scheduled. Terrific. Let us know. Keep us posted on how things went for you. We are hoping for the best there. Looking for a good report, good news. Can previous overstay ruin the chances of an I-130 F3 approval at the consular interview? Yes, that could be a problem at the interview for most people. It depends on how long you've overstayed, okay? Because the embassy depending on how long you overstayed, you might need a waiver for the immigrant visa process, okay? But yeah, overstaying in the United States can be a very big problem to get in the green card in the end. Why is it so hard to get a B1, B2 when filing? So it's hard because there are a lot of applicants, number one. And number two, the government is concerned that people will overstay, which many do. So they really drill down to figure out who has that intention of coming here temporarily versus permanently. Yeah, I think that and so that makes it's hard for some people to prove that their intentions are not to stay here permanently. Um, let's see. And for any questions related to your criminal history, I would just say, just ask a lawyer one-on-one about those things, okay? And not really here. James says that I just came back from Nigeria and they did not ask me any questions at the airport. And I got my green card, my residence in 2014. So, see, guys, most green card holders are traveling and they have no problems returning to the United States. Um, see, happy Memorial Day. Thank you, Michael. If I came through the border in 2022 and I was arrested and released, I got married to a US citizen and filed an I-130. What should I do next? I have an asylum case pending as well. Well, so uh, you have an asylum case pending, and you're married, okay, you're going to need an attorney. We would have to strategize with you one on one about stages that you'll need to go through. Okay. You have illegal entry on your record. You're married to a US citizen. You're waiting on an I-130 and you're waiting on an asylum case. Let's see what the outcome will be of those two, the I-130 in particular. And then we can obviously discuss with you at the same time what to do with the removal case. Sounds like you're in removal as well. Let's see. Oh, let's go back up a little bit. A woman who's been here since the 1970s was granted amnesty in the 1980s and is a green card holder. She is elderly. Can she apply for citizenship? Yes, she could apply for citizenship. Um, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Do that. Uh, let's get rid of some of the trolls. PD. Um, okay, my priority date is October 31st, 2016, documentarily qualified in 2022, F2B category. This is Kenya. Visa bulletin says September. When can I expect my appointment letter? So, Fatuma, like I said earlier, the State Department has a new tool that you can Google and put in Nairobi, Kenya, and select family preference category, and it will tell you what they're up to in terms of documentarily qualified cases that they're scheduling interviews for. So just Google that State Department new tool, immigrant visa, and you'll see that, okay? And get that information. Let's see. I have domestic violence case dismissed with no prejudice in New York back in 2022. Um, Something about 2023. I had disclosed the case at my green card interview when I became an LPR. Will I be safe returning to the United States? Um, well, as a green card holder, yes, you will be able to come back into the United States. You might get a question or two, possibly. Sound like I'm mixing there. Possibly at the airport, but you might be fine. I think that you're going to be fine. They will allow you to come back into the country, of course. I think that's the biggest concern is, can I get back in as a green card holder? Yes, you can get back in as a green card holder. The next issue is, well, how will they treat me? Well, for some people, they will just with a record like what I just discussed, for some of those individuals, they could take them back into secondary questioning for additional questions and just checking things out to make sure that that case was really dismissed and then let you go. And so for some green card holders, that's the biggest fear and concern is being pulled into that secondary questioning. It's not fun, it's embarrassing, and then you feel like, "Oh my god, it's uncertain. Am I gonna be released to go home, or will they put me back on a plane?" They will release you. You will be able to go back home to your house here in the United States, okay? Just know that you have that right, okay, to come in and stay here. And if they have problems with your record, then you can get a notice to appear in immigration court. And then for some individuals, they will detain them and send them to an ICE detention center. It just really depends on the facts, okay? Facts that involve things like what we've seen in the media, people who have a very serious drug conviction history are typically the ones who will be sent to an ICE detention center. But most everyone else, without that kind of serious crime on their record, will just be released to go home. Okay. All right. How can I contact you privately? Letty is asking. Letty, you can contact us at 914-898-9488 or go to McBeanlaw.com. Our phone lines are open today. I'm not working today. Uh, fully because it's a holiday and the office is technically for the most part is closed today because the team really needs a break. They've been working extremely hard. We've all been working really hard. So many of us are off today, but the phone lines are open. Okay. And you can schedule an appointment with me or one of my colleagues. Don't let me stand in your way of getting your information. A lot of people meet with my other colleagues and they're very satisfied. Um, okay, let's see. Another one testifying about returning back to the US. I came back from Nigeria with my husband, who is a US citizen, and I was only asked for my residency documents. That's it. Good. Guys, it's important for you to share your experiences to help other people to calm down a little bit, to calm down on the fear factor. So thank you for doing that. That's good. Um, Delmar, I see that. I'm sorry to hear that. Is it possible to keep my attorney to represent me in my asylum case, but hire another one to do a mandamus to find out what's going on with the I-130? Yes. Yes. Do you have an office in Florida? No, no office in Florida. However, we work virtually with clients nationwide. We have a lot of clients in Florida, as a matter of fact. 914 898-9488 or go to mcbeanlaw.com. Actually, let's do this. How about this? 914-898-9488. Okay, there you go. All right. Guys, I'm gonna jump off now. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. If you've missed earlier in the discussion, we were talking about ICE and the fact that they have ramped up and are doing some really ugly things at immigration courthouses around the nation. I've provided you with some tips, including considering whether your case should be dismissed or not, filing a motion for a WebEx hearing, a virtual hearing, and certainly making plans like guardianships for your children or and ways to protect your assets through a live-in trust and some other things like that we've discussed earlier. They are becoming a lot more aggressive, so just keep these ideas in mind and work with an immigration lawyer, your lawyer, on these steps. Also, just know that the government is recalendaring, putting cases back on the docket that were administratively closed, and ICE is doing more arrests at various check-ins for individuals who are under their supervision. Now, the House of Representatives also passed the big beautiful bill on last week, the reconciliation bill, and it ramps up immigration enforcement dollars in a significant way. So the Senate is looking at all of that. Today, we're out of the office, but our team is some individuals are there who are booking your appointment. So today is actually a good day to call our office so that you could get through and book your appointment. Thanks so much for being with me. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. And I really enjoyed being with you guys today. Hang in there. It is a very difficult time. Find ways that you can relax and unwind and just unplug. That's what I have to do because I intend to stay alive during the next 4 years. Okay. I will not allow this to kill me. Right. And you should not either, guys. Just relax a little bit and unplug and breathe, and we will get through this together. Guys, I will see you at the next one. Thanks for being with me. Bye bye.